There once was a time when public education was just simply about teaching and learning. And arguably, those days have long since passed. Now the ability for schools to function, whether it's in Alexandria or in New York City or Miami, urban, rural, suburban, every school and every school system has to concern itself with how to build or actually co-create with parents a system in which not only learning is the focal point, but the ability for children to stay safe is similarly that focal point. And I would just simply offer my comments, both for parents as well as the system as a whole, that we now need to understand that the guardrails have been dissolved. Understandings that we once had about safety, understandings that we once had about learning, to a large extent have evaporated before our very eyes. And that what now becomes important is the way by which school boards, superintendents, principals, teachers, everybody in the learning community really rallies around this building of clear, understandable rules of the road, guardrails that we will allow for students to be safe as well as be educated. And I would offer that there are a couple of things that come to my mind as you are in the process of thinking through how do we build that system. One of them is this idea that we actually have to share power. You don't have the monopoly, if you will, on the answer. I don't care if you are the superintendent, if you're the school board member, president of the union. Nobody has a monopoly on the right answer. That this is a collective enterprise, and it's got to be done collectively. It's got to be co-created. It's got to be something that people feel a sense of buy-in and, frankly, a sense of legitimacy in. So sharing of power is going to be really critical. Secondly, I would offer that we have to listen. And we have to listen to students. We have to listen to parents. We have to understand that the demands placed upon the system are the demands for building both a process by which that listening happens on a regular basis, but also a process by which we respond to it. And the system has never been particularly adaptive at doing either one, but both collectively is a real trick. And we really need to get better at it, to be perfectly honest with you. A third thing that we have to do is to understand that we are talking about parents who have the right and the ability to live on the demand side of this equation, not so much just the supply side. They are not people bringing their children and then turning them over to the system. Rather, they are essentially asking the system to give the space, institutional space, in which their demands, their understandings, their ability to participate has been created and accepted. That's going to be a really difficult thing in the midst of the kind of world that we've been in here, the topsy-turviness of this world over the course of the last several years. But it is going to be a piece of artistry that comes to us more naturally the more we get comfortable with not responding to the sort of acrimonious nature of this, but responding to the pleadings that are inherent in this. The idea that parents are actually demanding that the system not just educate their children, but that they keep them safe and that they have a set of understandings and a set of policies and practices and strategies by which to do just that. Now, I was both chancellor and superintendent in a number of different places, and I remember distinctly talking with numbers of parents about what it meant to be on the demand side versus the supply side. And a lot of parents actually don't know that they actually have the ability to live and to operate on the demand side. That is to say, to make their case to the system, and that the system will hear. So what happens is we allow for some parents to be part of that demand equation, and then for other parents, they just don't know how to do it. You should not hold against them the fact that they don't know how to do it. There ought to be an investment being made in helping parents to do it, so that the work they do and the work that they provide at home is the work that shows up as a benefit to the system, because they are actually engaged in the work of enabling students, their own children, to act responsibly, as well as asking the system and engaging the system in ways it can act collaboratively. These are important times for us, and the system has to pivot. And it's not comfortable. I understand it. And a lot of people kind of get their feet twisted a little bit as they have to make this pivot. But it isn't just from COVID that we're pivoting toward higher educational aspirations and goals. It really is about both the complexities of COVID and the post-COVID world, but it's also about helping the system to understand and navigate change in a big way, to understand that this is the new dynamic in which we will live in, educate our children in, and frankly, love this industry through. For those of us who have been in it for as long as I have, it is a matter of patience and inspiration and vision that is going to be the way by which the new day gets born. And so I am hopeful for you all, and I believe very strongly that you're all capable of being able to do this. But you will bring your imagination, you will bring your tactical minds, you will bring your demand, and you will hopefully enable the system to benefit from all of that as you go forward in the next several months.